The name Kevin Keegan should conjure images of glittering European nights, mazy dribbles, and Balon d'Or wins. But for most people, football's unluckiest icon is remembered for 4 words. I will love it. He was beaten up by drug dealers, discovered Father Christmas's lifeless corpse, and got shot in the face with a bow and arrow. From undercover gigolos to getting banged up in Serbia, this is his story. Welcome back to The Upshot. I'm Jack. Hello, Zach.
Hi, Jack. How are we doing?
Perfect. Just the two of us.
It's just the two of us
Keeping
today.
it simple. Yeah.
You
don't need a guest for an
quite
icon.
Intimate. Yeah.
It is very. Are you playing footsie with me under the
Could
table?
do, yeah. If you want.
Could do. Well, shall we?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So Kevin was born in Doncaster in 1951. Grows up opposite this co-op funeral services place, and he plays a lot of football. They'd always use the mortuary doors as a goal, which must be nice for the grieving relatives. Just some kids banging the ball against him.
Or if you're trying to like carefully embalm someone.
Yeah. He was good mates with the mortuary owner's son, who's a few years older than him, and he'd often bring Kevin in to take a look at the bodies. And one time, this kid comes out running over to Kevin. It's like, Kevin, Father Christmas is dead. And Kevin's like, what? And he's sort of at the age where he's like on the cusp of being sure whether or not Father Christmas is alive. He's about 6 years old, and they go in and sure enough, he recalls it in his book. He says, I went over to see for myself, and sure enough, there was the big fellow in one of the coffins with a long white beard. He looked very much like Father Christmas. My mum had taken to see me. Christmas was only a few weeks away.
Christmas was only a few. So you'd be worried.
Yeah, I just love the image of a few weeks ago he'd been down the shopping centre with his mum outside BHS.
Sat on his knee.
And
now he's naked in front of me with rigor mortis. It's actually really traumatic. How old was he?
I think he was 6 or 7 around that age.
If you believe in Father Christmas, which you would at that age, then it's one of the most horrifying things you can see.
Yeah. And then like Christmas is approaching it, so I just don't know what's going to happen now.
He must have then had a bit of a shock on Christmas Day, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe that's when the illusion ended.
But he's dead.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Kevin?
Yeah, that wasn't his only unfortunate childhood incident. So he's down the park one day with some mates, and one of them has got, possibly for Christmas, a bow and arrow. And they fire the arrow up into the sky, and they're all sort of, look at Kevin's looking up, loses it in the sky, and this arrow comes plummeting down and hits him in the face, just an inch below his right eye.
Fucking hell.
And like if it had been an inch higher, would have
lost your eye.
Been blinded. We'd never know the Kevin Keegan we do. And it ends up leaving this black scar under his right eye for 20 years.
Well, it's like a bit of
the arrow had snapped off under his skin.
Fuck. It's quite cool.
Yeah, it's all very Bayo tapestry, really.
Yeah. It's quite cool to have a little bit of arrow in you. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is probably the one rule if someone fires a bow and arrow into the sky is don't look up.
Don't
lose it.
Don't fire a bow and arrow straight up into
Don't give your child a bow and arrow. Get him one of those ones with like the rubber sucker on the end.
Yeah. There's lots of moments through the story that accident could have been avoided.
Yeah.
All part of the legend. Anyway, when he's not firing around dangerous weapons, Kevin's playing football, and he's set on becoming a professional from a very young age. And when he's 15, his dad manages to line up a trial with Doncaster Rovers, the local side, and that's a massive deal for Kevin. He supports them. He's down there every Saturday watching their matches, and his dad had just basically bumped into a scout in a pub and told him about Kevin. Unfortunately, his dad was pretty pissed at the time and got the timings of this trial wrong. So Kevin arrives the next day down at the Doncaster Stadium, and they tell him that the trial was about 6 hours earlier and it was in another location.
Brilliant. Didn't even get the location wrong.
No. So, seemed at that point that the dream was over for him. And after leaving school, he goes and gets a job at the brass works, making door handles, that sort of thing. Does carry on playing Sunday League though, and eventually is spotted by scouts for 4th tier Scunthorpe, who take him on.
Yeah, so he must have thought at one point that he was just never going to get a football career because his dad was pissed.
Yeah.
And forgot. I also love the idea that you can get scouted just because your dad
just
chatted
yeah.
in the pub.
So honestly, he's great.
Yeah, he's brilliant. To be fair, he was. Anyway, he's so excited about this opportunity at Scunthorpe that he signs a contract for a lower wage than at the Brassworks. Football doesn't pay that much at this point. And Scunthorpe are a ramshackle side in the 4th Division. In the training ground, the goals have no nets. They practice in training 5-a-side just on a car park.
5-a-side in a car park.
Just mortuary doors for goals.
Yeah. That's even for 4th tier. That seems.
Yeah. I quite like that football was like this. I mean, the players drive the minibus to games. There's no driver.
Yeah.
Still, Kevin's like a key player, and he's dazzling on the pitch because he's this sort of amazing dribbler. He can shoot. Like, he's sort of creative attacking midfielder. He can do it all basically in attack. And pretty quickly he catches the eye of Bill Shankly, who's managing Liverpool.
He was just in the Sainsbury's car park, picking up a few bits. Who's this kid?
Just came to pay my last respects to Father Christmas. Bill Shankly's in town. He sees him, or his scouts do, and he joins Liverpool. So this is the great Liverpool side. And they snap Kevin up. They pay 33 grand for him. It's quite a decent transfer fee, even at the time. It's 1971. He gets 50 quid a week wages, which I looked up. So in today's money, that's 30 grand a year. So for football, I guess football back then just didn't pay like it did.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at that point he's come from the 4th tier as well. They had no idea that he'd go on to be.
He's happy,
a star. Yeah.
He's happy with it.
So obviously, signing from a 4th tier side, you're not expecting to walk straight into the first team. But Kevin, he does really well in pre-season, and for the opening game of the 71-72 season, Bill Shankly throws him straight into the starting 11, and boy does he take his chance. Scores 12 minutes into his debut. And from that point on, he just becomes an instant superstar. Nobody could really have seen it coming, but he's a first team regular. Within a couple of seasons, he's won the league, the UEFA Cup, and he's a nailed on starter for England as well. Pretty much immediately, he also became a corporate shill. So he put his face to boots. He had his own range of pajamas, Pirelli slippers, crisps. Yeah, I don't know what they were.
I guess kids want footballer pajamas.
Yeah, is it just little Kevin Keegan's pumped face all over?
Loads of them.
Yeah. What else did you do? Radios. There's the Kevin Keegan goal ice lolly, which we've got a picture of here.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's an ice lolly that melts, and then the stick inside the ice cream is a little miniature of Kevin Keegan.
Oh, it's like a plastic stick.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
We're looking at an advert for it now, which says, "When the lolly's finished, the game's just starting."
Oh yeah, it's a very vintage 70s.
There's loads of text on it. It's like a newspaper article with his signature, and then there's a little like cutout section where you fill in your name and address, and they'll send you a lolly.
That's great.
That's just that's not gonna travel well in the post. A lolly.
He also does the Green Cross Code adverts. You know, this was like basically teaching kids to cross the road safely. We've got a clip of it here.
Oh, great outfit.
He's a kid bouncing.
Hey, what do you think you're playing at? Come here.
It's just saves the child from
That's
being
no
run
way
over.
to cross the road, is it? Come over here, I'll show you a safe place to cross. Now here, there's no parked cars to block your view. Nothing coming? Sure? Off you go. And straight across, mind. And keep your eyes open. It's part of the Green Cross Code. Take it from me.
To keep your eyes
Smart.
open.
Be safe.
He's got such a serious face in this advert. I mean, it's a serious.
He's wearing
serious
a very
topic,
cool
but-
outfit though. He's in like a checked blazer, black polo neck with a necklace over it, and then flares.
Yeah.
But also, all he actually teaches that boy is no, don't cross near parked cars. Good advice. And then keep your eyes open. Yeah, I mean, let's take that.
I feel like it was a big deal back then, though. Green Cross Code.
Yeah, there was a more
Heard a
recent
lot.
one with a hedgehog cartoon. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
King of the
Vaguely.
road. Yeah, I think it's quite a good idea to have celebs teaching.
Yeah.
Also, back then, half the people driving are like drunk, don't have a license, speeding. Whereas now they've just cut the speed limit.
Yeah.
The onus was on children to avoid being maimed at that point.
It is victim blaming.
It's quite a dangerous world, Kevin Keegan.
Yeah,
grew
if you
up
get
in.
hit by a car, it is your fault.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
the-
learn the fucking Green Cross Code, you idiot. Trying to get to the pub.
Well, speaking of going to the pub, apparently George Best used to do the adverts, and in fact, all of these, like being the face of various brands, everything went to George Best. But by the 70s, he became quite unreliable.
Yeah. I certainly don't want his advice on road safety. I'm fine with him still doing that one about bras. Do you remember? On the George Best episode we watched that one, and it's like George Best is in a cocktail bar and sees this woman, and then the voiceover is like, 90% of women found that they looked much prettier when they wore these bras, and George Best gives her like a wink, a leer. It's basically like George Best will fuck you if you wear a bra. I'm fine with him continuing to do that.
That's the kind of advert made for George Best. Let Kevin Keegan do the road safety ones.
Yeah.
That's more
ice lollies and road safety. Kevin Keegan. Pajamas.
Bras and pints of best bitter for George Best. But yeah, Keegan starts taking over all of these sort of gigs from Best. He even takes over his column in the Daily Express, which I imagine was coming in and just like slurred, just like scribbled on the back of back of a betting slip.
Are they actually writing those? Or are they phone call with a journalist and then they sort of put it in your words?
Yeah. Either way, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's still slurry.
George Best was coming across pretty
probably better
unintelligible. Apparently, this Daily Express column pays Kevin more than Liverpool do.
But I think that's basically the game back then, hence why he does so much shilling.
Yeah.
Because the money's all from sponsorship. The money from wages is shit, which is weird.
Yeah. Bill Shankly, his manager, starts to think that Kevin's taking it a little bit too far. At some point, drags him in and is like, "You lad need to remember you're a footballer. Stop doing all this shite." And after that, Kevin decides that I can't say yes to everything. But when Hummel, the sports brand boot manufacturer, come in with a £3,000 offer to wear a white pair of boots, obviously that perks up his attention. But he's quite wary of Shankly's warning to him, so he decides to sound out the Liverpool captain Tommy Smith. And Tommy's known as a bit of a hard bastard. He's known as the Anfield Iron. So when Kevin comes up to him, Tommy sort of turns his nose up a bit, asks him how much he's getting paid, and takes a look at those white boots and says to Kevin, "They're not for you. You're going to look like a right prat if you're not careful." So Kevin decides to decline Hummel's offer and turns up to the next game wearing his run-of-the-mill black boots. At which point, Tommy trots out wearing all-white Hummel boots and winks at Keegan and says, "Can't turn down 1,500 quid at this stage of my career, lad."
Bastard. That's great.
I love that he's getting half the money that Kevin was.
Doesn't matter. He probably went to them and said, "I'll do it for half."
Yeah.
Because also white boots were like pretty unusual then, right?
Yeah.
Like it was seen as really flash.
That's sort of the pink fluorescent equivalent now.
Probably even more like frowned upon.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Anyway, on the pitch, thanks to Tommy's dazzling white boots and Kevin's magic, Liverpool are continuing to dominate in English football. And in 1974, Kevin scores twice in the FA Cup final. They beat Newcastle. So he's we've got a goal we can watch.
Highway, Liverpool showing the party pieces. He wasn't offside, Smith.
Oh,
yes!
Tap it from 2 yards.
And Newcastle were undressed.
Good positioning.
They were absolutely stripped naked.
They were absolutely stripped naked.
Highway to Smith.
He goes, Newcastle were undressed, and then doubles down and goes, they were absolutely stripped naked. I've never heard that.
Was that a football
bent
term?
them over there. It's like he just kept making it more and more. Yeah, I guess.
They've been strip searched. Been bent over and
giving them an absolute fucking rogering there. Yeah, I mean, it's a tap-in, so it's hard to really say much.
He scored twice, though, in that game, so...
He did.
Yeah.
And after that high, the FA Cup's the biggest prize in English football at the time. But after that high, Kevin is unfortunately about to experience some crushing lows. So he basically has a very bad summer in 1974, which kicks off when he's on international duty with England. It's a week after that FA Cup final. So he's still buzzing from that. And England go away. They're playing Bulgaria and Yugoslavia away. This is the mid-70s. That's quite like daunting places to go. But it's a bit of a jolly. They've got a caretaker manager. Everyone's sort of boozing on the trip. And having played Bulgaria, they are flying to Belgrade for the Yugoslavia match. And it's a rowdy flight. All the England lads are getting on the booze. A stewardess later accuses one of the players of goosing her, which I had to look up.
I've never heard that term before.
Yeah, so apparently it means you poke someone in the bum.
Okay.
Because I guess it's like a goose's beak, maybe, like a peck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just like a poke on the buttock cheek.
Yeah.
Can't
Can't be doing that to stewardesses.
No, you can't. But actually, Kevin's got nothing to do with it. So Kevin's a pretty well behaved bloke, right? He was at the front of the plane, fast asleep. It was all the rowdy lot behind him who were getting up to no good. Anyway, because he was at the front of the plane, he's the first off, going through security, and they land in Belgrade. Kevin's carrying 2 carrier bags filled with Bulgarian pottery that he's bought for his mum.
Oh.
So
he's a lovely lad.
He's a sweet man. That's his vibe on the flight,
Yeah.
while the others are goosing stewardesses. Anyway, he's pretty knackered. He sits down at baggage reclaim, wait for his teammates. And next off the plane through security is teammate Alec Lindsay, who's wankered. And he runs through and sees the baggage reclaim belt and jumps on it, starts jumping up and down on it as it goes round. I'll let Kevin pick up the story from here. He says in his book, "It was all completely harmless until one of the airport guards grabbed Alec and threw him against a wall. Suddenly, I was grabbed from behind and lifted violently off the floor. My carrier bag split open and the pottery smashed on the floor."
Oh, not the pottery. His ornate Bulgarian teapot.
I'm just picturing him looking at me like, oh, bugger.
Oh, poor old Mama Keegan's not going to get her a serving dish.
Yeah, from Veliko Tarnovo. Yeah, and it gets worse for poor Kevin because he's then dragged into a back room and they beat the shit out of him, these Yugoslavian police officers. They actually make him kneel down in a pose that he describes as like a prisoner of war. I think it's like hands on the head.
Yeah, that's not a place where you want to get arrested. Yugoslavia, is it?
Yeah, exactly. Cold War, Tito's Yugoslavia. And also being made to kneel, it feels like you're about to be like executed or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrifying. And the police then charge him. So they charge him with assaulting the stewardess, which he was not doing, he was asleep, and assaulting a security guard in the sort of melee after the pottery smashed. And he's there like in custody in this airport. He's crying. I'm not sure I blame him.
He's still hung up on the pottery.
Yeah, what am I going to get me, ma? Yeah. Do you guys sell any pottery in the airport? Anyway, so he's there. He's terrified. He's like going in the slammer. And eventually an FA secretary arrives and is like, that's like an England footballer. That's not just some random rowdy fan. And after a bit of haggling and via a translator, they agree to let him go. So I think they basically thought that the England players were just like hooligans.
Yeah,
They were
sounds like they
behaving
were.
it. But his bad luck doesn't end there. So a few weeks after this international trip, it's the Charity Shield. And obviously Liverpool are FA Cup winners, so they're playing in it. And they're playing against Leeds United. This is dirty Leeds, horrible defenders. They'll take lumps out of you. And early on in the game, off the ball, a Leeds defender just lamps Keegan. Just literally punches him in the face.
Oh.
Yeah. And the ref does see it. And the ref runs over. He's going to give him a yellow. Which is sign of the times.
I love that used to just be a yellow.
For punching someone in the face. But actually, he stopped at the last minute because Kevin Keegan begs the ref not to book the bloke. He says, "Come on, ref, it's a charity match." So, he couldn't be being nicer about this.
Yeah.
He's just saved the guy who hit him from getting booked. And the opponent then thanks him when play restarts by flying in on him with a 2-footed tackle. At which point, even a man as patient as Kevin Keegan snaps, and he swings round, goes to punch him, but connects with the face of the wrong Leeds player. He smacks Billy Bremner in the face, who I think is Leeds captain.
Yeah.
He's a fierce.
He's a big name, yeah.
Not a bloke you want to smack. And Bremner promptly smacks him back in the face, and both Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner are sent off.
That's not very charity, is it?
No, it's the first time a red card's been shown in a club fixture at Wembley, ever. So it's a big.
That?
It was, yeah. Yeah,
I was there.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's a particularly big deal because both players take their shirt off as they walk off, which is considered like quite indecent.
Yeah.
It's not the done thing. And the FA Blazers end up finding him 500 quid and banning him for 11 matches.
For the punch, presumably.
I think it's more for the punch than the shirt off.
What about this? The first punch. Was that just?
I think that was because dealt with at the time, wasn't it? Yeah.
No yellow.
It's he and Bremner who I don't know why his punch is considered a red.
Yeah.
I don't know. But apparently on the disciplinary committee was Matt Busby, who's I don't think he was managing United at the time, but he was probably a director. And United were obviously rivals with Liverpool and Leeds, and Busby was just like, yeah, we should push for the maximum possible penalty. So 11 matches. There is one upside to this 11-match ban, though, because Kevin's got 3 months off or whatever. And it means he can finally make an honest woman of his girlfriend, the lovely Jean, who he's been dating for a few years. They've been engaged for a while, having met on the waltzers at Doncaster Fair.
That's very Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, that is a charming way to meet people.
So on the waltzers, as in like, were they on different waltzers? Are they, because you know how the waltzers sort of, you're going...
The waltzer thing that spins...
Waltzers the one that spins around. I love the waltzers, actually.
Can we actually check?
Waltzers are the ones that spin around as you're going up and down in a circle. Those ones.
Yeah.
That's actually my favourite fairground ride.
Hang on. I can't see what that is.
Yeah, that one.
That's the teacups, isn't it? It's like a teacup.
Yeah. I think that's another name for it.
So it's the teacups, but made to feel a bit more sort of supercharged.
Yeah.
Because if you said you met on the teacups, it's a bit pathetic, isn't it? So how do you meet on that? Do you get put in the same one?
Maybe that, or you're sort of eyeing each other as your teacups go round.
Yeah, you're spinning and you're occasionally making eye contact.
Yeah.
It's quite an impressive place to chat someone up, actually.
Yeah, also because you get quite dizzy as you come
might be
off.
sick. I reckon they were locked in the same pod.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
Anyway, it's such a romantic sort of mid-20th century place to meet. And yeah, they tie the knot. Kevin really scrubs up for the occasion. He slips in to a specially made white leather suit, which we're looking at now.
A white leather
suit. So it's sort of mercifully for him, it's quite baggy. So the trousers are flared, obviously. But yeah, that's leather.
That is getting sweaty.
Apparently it squeaks every time it moves as well.
I feel like Kevin at the time was like a fashion icon.
He's very he's right trendy, isn't he?
Yeah, for the day.
I mean, she's wearing just a nice traditional wedding dress. She looks lovely.
Yeah.
And leather wedding suit. I've never heard of it. Is it leather or is it like PVC?
I don't
Either
know.
way, it's gonna be hot.
That is gonna be sticky underneath.
Doesn't look like a very warm day in Doncaster, to be fair. It looks quite drizzly.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at them, happy couple.
He looks sort of like an Elvis impersonator.
Yeah, I mean, any white suit that's flared. I actually think the suit's quite cool if it wasn't made of leather.
Yeah. It's not practical.
Back on the pitch, Kevin and Liverpool are dominating. They win the title 2 more times. He wins the European Cup, which is actually his farewell. That's his last ever game for Liverpool. It's a great way to go out. But it is Kevin Keegan, and misfortune is never far away. So when he's invited on a BBC game show, Superstars, to sort of compete in a decathlon against another footballer, it doesn't go very well. He has a very nasty bike accident. They're doing like a bike race, basically, and he crashes into this bloke, falls off. It's all caught on television. Apparently it's considered one of the most iconic moments of 70s TV. Which, 2 channels. Yeah. That's 2 channel syndrome if ever I've seen
Kevin
it.
Keegan falling off a bike.
I mean, the clip's quite funny. I've watched it. And also imagine like Mo Salah competing in a decathlon on TV against
crashing,
the Anderlecht captain, which is who it was.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. Particularly also interesting detail is that he was then driving home down the M1 with Jean, his wife, when he suddenly went into shock. Like they said it was delayed shock from the incident and he had to like pull over the car and he passed out. Yeah.
Delayed shock.
I tell you, it's one of those medical conditions you don't hear of anymore. It's probably like an actual...
I think he just had... concussion.
Yeah, exactly. He does make a full recovery, fortunately. And that summer, 1977, he makes a shock move when Bundesliga side Hamburger SV snap him up for 500 grand. It's a British record. It's double the German record.
It's huge money. And salary-wise it is as well. He was on 22k at Liverpool. He's now on 122k. Which, that is mega money for the time. He's comfortably the highest paid player in Bundesliga history, which is actually especially surprising because Hamburg hadn't finished higher than 6th for 2 decades in the Bundesliga. So they weren't even one of the top sides.
So they're sort of Tottenham-y kind of,
I guess,
sleeping giant.
Yeah, maybe an Everton, Tottenham type side. That huge salary doesn't make him particularly popular with his teammates who are on much lower salaries. Also, doesn't do himself any favours when he rocks up with what's considered a silly new haircut, the infamous perm, which I didn't realise that he sort of started this trend.
What, the perm?
The perm for men. For men, it was like a popular women's haircut, but Kevin was one of the first footballers anyway to to do it. Really,
Really? And then obviously loads.
It really
of
it catches
Englishmen.
on. You got your Graham Souness's, people like that. It really catches on in
Terry McDermott.
in English football.
I've always found it a hard haircut to understand the appeal of having. I mean, it's hard to judge fashions.
Yeah, I think it looks good on him there.
He suits it, but he's a good-looking man. I think he can pull off quite a lot.
That's a beautiful kit Hamburg have got there as well.
With Hitachi, their sponsor. Yeah, perms are kind of back though, aren't they, for young lads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we here.
No, but they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, like if you see a bloke
different.
a bloke of about 18 to 20, they're all rocking them. Different to the Keegan one.
Yeah.
A bit more like styled.
Freddie, who works upstairs, he's got a bit.
Is that a natural perm though?
Has he got?
I think he uses curl cream.
He's curl.
He gets his hair cut once
George,
a week. Did you know that?
Freddie gets his hair cut.
Yeah.
Really?
Because he's got that thing.
The Micah Richards.
I think that the curl is natural, but you know how the style with the perm now is you have like it's on top and then it's like kind of shaved at the sides. He gets that tidied up once a week.
Yeah, apparently they went round to their like family's house one time, and their uncle just took one look at Freddie and was like, you got one of them. You got that alpaca haircut.
Probably not as soft. Alpaca haircut.
It is the alpaca cut, isn't it?
That's really good.
Anyway, Kevin's is a lot more sort of flowing and luscious than that. But it doesn't take off with his new colleagues. It does actually. I mean, it kicks off the trend in England, but not
in Germany.
Not in Germany to begin with. And his teammates, they're just not a fan of him in general, really. The transfer fee, the silly haircut, and apparently they don't even pass him in training to begin with. And a delegation of his teammates even confront the manager to try and force him out. Seems harsh.
Really?
He's got a new trim.
They really
harsh.
don't like him.
Yeah, they
also,
don't.
Surely they recognise that he's fucking good.
Yeah, so apparently because Hamburg signed him, it meant they had to move on this other guy who was a real like club legend. He'd won European Cups in the past. He was really popular in the dressing room, so they didn't like him for that reason as well. And all of that adds together to mean that, to begin with, Kevin is pretty miserable in Germany. He struggles with the language as well. The lowest point comes in a friendly against VfB Lübeck, German side, where he loses his rag with a defender, and in just the 10th minute he decks him. This is a friendly as well, so like
he punches people quite a lot for such a nice man.
Yeah,
I think if you're getting a lot of shit from defenders back then, you kind of have to.
Yeah, I think his temper was just running high. He was in a stressful situation.
Yeah.
His teammates were being mean to him. And obviously sent off in the 10th minute and storms off the pitch, and he can't even be bothered to stick around to see his bastard teammates again after the final whistle, and jumps in a taxi straight home. Unfortunately, his girlfriend isn't expecting him home till much later, and she's out, so he ends up just sat on the doorstep for a couple of hours in the freezing cold
Different times.
until she gets home. The German FA then slap him with an 8-match ban because of the punch. And worse still, because of the etiquette in Germany, the following day he has to drive all the way back to Lübeck and apologise to the town.
What's like the entire town?
Yeah, apparently
mayor.
so. Yeah, I don't.
So
Yeah.
what was that? That was
So if
that was the rule back then.
Apparently so in Germany.
Wonder when that stopped.
I don't know. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, bring it back.
Yeah, I don't know where this apology took place. If they did it in like the town square.
Yeah, in the stocks.
There is one positive though for Kevin, because in his absence, Hamburg's results start to slip, and his teammates begin to realise how important he is and what a good player he is for the team. So he says, "Players who barely said 2 words to me were now inviting me out, trying to do me favours. One even told me he could get me cheap meat for the dogs. Peter Hidian, the fullback, he even came in with a perm."
Okay, that's quite a supportive.
Yeah.
A few questions then. So, what, because they needed to see that they were shit without him to realise he was good?
Yeah.
Well, and then they're like, fuck, we actually need to be nice to this guy because he was carrying us.
Yeah, they're starting to appreciate him.
Yeah. Also, how sort of low have your expectations got to be grateful because someone helps you get meat for the dogs? It's like the most depressing way of someone showing you some
He's going
love.
to turn up with a carrier bag of like butcher's offcuts.
Yeah, exactly. Minced fucking kidney. And finally, nice to see the perm.
Yeah.
Maybe the perm caught on in Germany later, because in Euro 96...
It's like Rudi Voller.
Yeah, Rudi Voller had a perm,
yeah.
didn't he? And Euro 96, I think that guy Muller scores the winning penalty in the shootout against England. I think he had a perm as well.
Yeah, so it does catch on. Maybe
Late.
Kevin's a trailblazer at home and away. And when he comes back from his ban, he's a changed man. Ends up winning back-to-back Ballon d'Ors and leads Hamburg to their first title in 20 years.
Wow. Oh, so does he win the Ballon d'Or because he turns Hamburg into...
I think so. I mean, he's taken this team that they hadn't finished in the top 6 for decades and then wins the title with them. And he's the star. He's this mercurial dribbling talent.
Scores loads of goals.
Scores loads of goals, gets him the Ballon d'Or, which...
Twice.
Although it wasn't quite the big deal that it is now. So he later says, for my first one, a guy wandered onto the pitch and handed me the trophy before a game somewhere. It was like a trophy from a pub darts competition. The metal's discoloured now and you can see the glue where the plaque's been fixed on. I had it valued once and the guy told me it was worth a tenner. I doubt Cristiano would use it for a doorstop.
That's good. That's pretty funny.
Love the idea of just some random bloke just sidling up to the pitch. There you go.
Yeah.
Just,
and it's literally like one of those, literally like he says, a pub darts one. Glued
Which,
together.
looking at that, like considering the whole bloody spectacle that they've turned it into now, it is.
But it
quite,
wasn't a big deal then, was
yeah,
it?
exactly.
And also it was only for European players then.
Yeah.
So there might have been some pretty amazing Brazilian players who could have won it instead of him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still.
But
it's kind of been retroactively made part of the same thing.
yeah,
hasn't it?
yeah,
Quite a
yeah.
weird
Yeah, it's
way.
quite funny now. You look back at the players who won it in the 70s and 80s and
Yeah.
you think of it on the same sort of pedestal as it is now, but
Having said that, he
clearly.
was one of the best players in the
he
world, right?
yeah,
Certainly
he
Europe.
was. And perhaps that was why, he's feeling on top of the world in 1979. Feels like he can do anything. And the thing he decides to do is release a solo single, Head Over Heels in Love, which peaks at number 31 in the charts.
Decent.
Look at it here.
Oh, whoa.
It's another classic 70s outfit.
Yeah.
And it looks like I'm falling all over again.
It's good, I like it.
It's a good song.
It's good,
He
I like
does-
it, yeah.
Because he's reading it off a screen, his eyes stay glued to the auto cue. He has the vibe of a man doing karaoke at Bartlin's. A dad who's just gone up and done a turn. He's good though.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
And also, number 31 in those days, there's no shame in that because, like,
Yeah, the
singles
charts
chart
were
was
actually a
super
thing,
competitive.
yeah.
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 You, Teddy, you were saying that he's like the star of an England song as well.
Yeah, it's called This Time. Oh, it's something like that, and he is the main person in it. Of course, England do terribly as a result afterwards, but
This time's quite a good England song name. There's just an element of desperation in that title, isn't there? Oh, please, this time.
This time, more than any other time, this time, we're gonna find a way to get away this time.
I don't think that World Cup went very well, did it?
No, I think they should bring back songs like that though.
Same.
I'd like to see the whole squad singing, Cole Palmer especially. So around this time, he decides to leave Hamburg. So they'd actually got this new coach, this Eastern European guy who was super tough. Like the training sessions were grueling, and Kevin really, really didn't like it. Really didn't get along with the coach, and decided. I think earlier in the season, he was like, "I need to get the fuck out of here. This is horrible," and eventually does leave that summer. And apparently, when they cleared out his locker at Hamburg, they found on the inside of the locker these drawings that were pinned to the thing, like little childlike drawings of Kevin Keegan being held prisoner by this manager. It's real like prison Green Mile sort of stuff.
Yeah, just little stick men.
Yeah. The pictures are in the Hamburg Club Museum.
That's great. Something quite childlike about that. As well, isn't it?
You're expecting there to be like a tally carved into the back of the locker, like counting down the days.
Oh, so he was desperate to go.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because he had a great stint there,
Mm,
and I think he's a club legend.
yeah, and he's still performing at the top of his game. He captains England at the 1980 Euros around this time. Actually goes very badly. And then he joins Southampton, where he's class. He's absolutely banging in the goals. And then, because he's now starting to get on a bit, he heads to Newcastle, who are in the second tier, but he's from the northeast, so it's quite a nice sort of homecoming. And he's a star at Newcastle. 48 goals in 2 seasons, gets them promoted back up to the top flight. And then that's it. He hangs up his boots in 1985. Really goes out on a high, still banging the goals, which you don't see that often. And, you know, Kevin Keegan, he's never been a massive fan of the spotlight, despite his pop career. And after that, he decides he just wants to get away from the world of English football. And so he and his family moved to Marbella, where they lived for 7 glorious sun-soaked years, not a care in the world, until 1991, when they decide it's time to come home. And Jean and the kids, they fly over, simplest way. But Kevin decides that someone needs to bring all their possessions back. And so he's going to drive the 700 miles from Marbella back home with a car full of stuff. It's quite a long drive. You know, you're doing it all day, just literally no sleep, 3 different countries. Eventually he gets back to England and reaches Surrey, at which point he's absolutely knackered. And he finds himself literally falling asleep at the wheel. So he pulls over in a lay-by. And what happens next is absolutely horrible. He wakes up to find 4 men smashing his car window with a rock. And then they savagely beat him up. They beat him with a baseball bat and steal all his stuff, which was their motive. Yeah, it's really horrible. He's obviously like totally shaken, but he said it was like a dream. Until he said it felt like a dream until I could taste the blood in my mouth.
Oh my god,
really unpleasant.
That is real back to reality. Isn't it? You spent seven years on the beach in Marbella. I think we'll go back to the UK. It's like literally haven't even got to the new house yet, and you've already been savagely beaten up by
because you've
drug gang.
Been having the discussion of like, will the quality of life be the same? I'm literally still in the car, and
I feel like if this happened today, this would be munition for the people who've like moved to Dubai and it's like, oh, London's not safe anymore. Like, I wouldn't take my kids out on the street in London.
Barely set a foot off the Cross Channel ferry. You know, beat with a baseball bat. I mean, it is unfortunate. So it turns out the reason they were doing it, these guys just owed a drug dealer money and just wanted to nick his stuff.
Yeah.
He probably had some.
So they didn't even know it was Kevin Keegan.
I don't think they had any idea. It was just like a bloke. You know, you can't see it past the perm. He sort of slumped in the front seat. So they just thought it was a random guy they need to sort of immobilize. He's left needing 8 stitches in his scalp. It's really horrible. The tabloids refused to swallow the explanation that this was just like a random attack by some thieves. They decide that there must be something more sinister going on, and these rumors swirl round Fleet Street that Kevin's been knobbing someone's missus, or maybe he's got like mixed up with some dodgy gangsters in Spain and that's why he was fleeing back. In fact, the News of the World hear a rumour that it involved Kevin and some boys in Newcastle. They decide to look into this story. So they go to Soho and they hire 12 rent boys, gigolos. I don't know. Sorry if I've used the wrong term there. 12 male prostitutes.
Yeah.
They hire them and pay them to work undercover in Newcastle, basically going around like gay cruising spots and just asking people if they've met Kevin Keegan.
Okay. God, that is a payday for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it shows how much money the tabloids were just chucking at mental stuff. And they have a grand old time, these 12 lads.
On the News of the World company card.
Yeah, apparently they just get put up in this like banging hotel in Newcastle and just like out partying.
Just go to all the gay clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Have a grand old time. Good for them.
Lovely, yeah.
They don't deliver any stories, of course, because there is no truth to the rumours, but yeah.
And then 1992, it's almost 8 years after his final game as a player. He's been out of football all that time. Keegan makes a glorious return to Newcastle as manager. And Newcastle are at a low ebb at this point. They're staring relegation to the 3rd tier for the first time in their history. And they decide Kevin is the man to rescue them, despite his total lack of managerial experience.
They already heard from the News of the World he's pretty good around 12 boys from Newcastle. 11 should be a doddle.
Yeah. Well, it is, in fact. It turns out to be a stroke of genius from them. Kevin, when he arrives at the club's training ground, is shocked at the state of things. He actually pays for the grounds to be cleaned up out of his own pocket.
Because they're just like strewn with rubbish.
I think it's just fallen into disrepair. There's peeling paint, everything. But what he's most horrified by, though, is young right back Steve Watson, who takes throw-ins via somersault throw.
Oh, like Iranian style.
Yeah, which I never realised this was a thing. It's not.
Well, I mean, I remember Steve Watson playing for Newcastle, but I don't remember him doing that.
Yeah, I think it was drilled out of him very quickly.
So basically, they're a Mickey Mouse club at this point.
Yeah, so Kevin thinks that this somersault throw is it's a gimmick, really, and it's a sign of how far Newcastle have fallen. And he wants to turn that image around. He wants Newcastle to be known for scoring goals, for thrilling football. And to be fair, he achieves it. So he manages to avoid relegation in his first season, and the following season they win the second tier and are promoted to the Premier League, where his side become known as the league's entertainers. First Premier League season they finished third, which is amazing achievement. And then his most famous season of all, 95-96, when Newcastle, they've got a 12-point lead in February. Looks like they're going to win the title until a famous collapse. So their slide includes the classic 4-3 defeat to Liverpool.
Still considered one of the best games ever, right?
Yeah.
And there's that image of him at the end just slumped over the advertising hoarding.
Yeah, because I think by that point, he knows the writings on the wall. And the game, of course, is followed by his infamous Sky Sports rant, which the whole rant was triggered by Alex Ferguson, Man United manager, suggesting that Leeds and Nottingham Forest, who are Newcastle's next opponents, wouldn't try as hard against them as they would against Man United. And this was Kevin's reaction.
When you do that with footballers, like he said about Leeds, and when you do things like that about a man like Stuart Pearce, I've kept really quiet, but I'll tell you something. He went down in my estimation when he said that. We have not resorted to that, but I'll tell you, you can tell him now, be watching it, we're still fighting for this title, and he's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something. And I'll tell you, honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
God, the passion's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
You just don't see that much from a manager.
No,
that, like,
it's unfiltered, it's raw.
Hot on his sleeve. And to be fair, he's rattled.
Yeah.
It's worked.
Yeah.
This is when everyone was like, Fergie's the king of the mind games.
Yeah.
But I think there's also just an element of like Kevin Keegan's teams were too attacking and
they worked them out.
Ran out of steam a bit.
Yeah.
They always say that Espria was a bad buy. I think it's that season. Yeah, I don't know. It's a serious meltdown.
It is. My favourite part of it is when you say a thing like that about a man like Stuart Pearce.
It's a man of integrity.
Yeah.
And they've still got to go to Middlesbrough and get something.
Yeah.
And I would love it. Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah.
Sadly,
yeah.
signaled the demise.
Yes. It did come back to bite him because obviously United win the league. And that rant is really now what Kevin Keegan is most famous for.
Yeah, not the European Cup wins.
No, the Balon d'Ors. He says that passing drivers still yell at him out the window. I would love it. I would love it.
It's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
And that's actually, not only does the title bit fall apart, but actually Keegan's Newcastle reign falls apart quite soon after that. Yeah, he only lasts until halfway in the next season and then quits. It's a massive shock. I remember it well. And because he bought Alan Shearer and everyone was like, Newcastle are going to kick on now.
Yeah.
But he just felt that he'd taken them as far as he could. I think he's slightly falling out with the club anyway.
I mean, he'd done an unbelievable job. He's considering, like, in the space of 5 years, took them from almost getting relegated to the third tier to almost winning the Premier League.
Almost.
He's an almost man, isn't he?
Yeah, and as a manager, he does become known as a bit of a nearly man. He then goes and does this stint at Fulham under Mohamed Al Fayed. Goes back to the third division. I guess he's viewing it as a bit of a Newcastle again, of like, this club's got potential, I can take them back.
Yeah.
Obviously, Al Fayed's bankrolling him. And he does get them promoted to the Championship. He becomes known for the Keegan effect, which is like, he gives you instant lift.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's just an amazing, inspiring...
Yeah, because he doesn't really do much management anymore, but you'd think with that kind of record, he's the sort of person you get in for the last 10 games of the season when you're in a relegation scrap.
But I think his genius is his fatal flaw. His genius is he's so emotional that he can like take his players to this amazing emotional level. But the problem is that works for being like sad as well as it works on the way down as much as on the way up.
Yeah.
So when
As soon
Alex
as things
Ferguson
turn.
rattles your cage and a result goes badly and you slump over the hoardings, it brings the players down really quickly too.
Yeah, he wears his heart on his
He
sleeve.
does. So you can't really blame him for turning his hand to punditry instead. You know, it's just a much safer game. And at the 1998 World Cup, he is on co-commentary for England's thrilling second round game with Argentina. It's an absolute thriller of a match. Goes to penalties. It's as tense as it gets. And David Batty, Kevin's former player at Newcastle, steps up to take the decisive penalty for England. And Kevin is asked will he score?
Now, you know him better than anybody. Do you back him to score quickly, yes or no?
Yes.
Here we go.
No! Yeah.
God.
He just, I mean, he's
Ultimate jinx.
Yeah, jinx is it. It's the way you hear him go, no! For me, the whole theme of this episode is summed up in that moment.
Yeah, I think his co-commentator is stitching him up there, really.
Big time.
Just doing it like 2 seconds before. Is he going to score?
Yeah. And it's the way he goes, you know him better than anyone, quickly.
Yeah.
So I think that's what, there's obviously that 90s football nostalgia pod called Quickly Kevin. And
Is that
it's
the
after
origin
that
of that?
moment,
Okay.
yeah. Quickly Kevin, will he score? I think they're called that. So it's such a good moment. Although Kevin's actually the main beneficiary of that missed penalty, because when Glenn Hoddle leaves as England manager, Kevin Keegan is given the job in 1999. He initially said he'd only do it for 4 games. He was really not too sure about it. I think he just didn't fancy the pressure.
Yeah. Considering the runs of bad luck that Kevin's had, he's done some pretty bad things in the past life, right?
I knew it was going there. And yeah, he must have, because it's a bit of a disaster. So they qualify for Euro 2000, but they're knocked out in the group. And word starts to leak out at this point that Kevin Keegan is not great with tactics. So Martin Keown publicly calls him tactically naive. A few players say that his assistant manager used to give all the tactics presentations, and on one occasion, Kevin fell asleep in the middle of this presentation.
It's not a good look.
So yeah, it's not great. But he does stay on after Euro 2000. And in September of that year, it's a huge game. It's England-Germany, the last ever game at the old Wembley. So it's quite sort of emotionally important. Unfortunately, England lose 1-0. Doesn't go well. And the scene in the dressing room afterwards is absolute chaos. Players are sitting there like distraught. And Kevin Keegan is sat in one corner telling his assistant manager openly, I'm going to quit. They don't want me.
God, he's too emotional.
In front of
isn't
the
he?
players.
Yeah, in front of the players.
So David Davis, who was the chief of the FA, goes to the dressing room after the game, and he said he couldn't believe the scene he walked into. He said it was like really humid and steamy from the showers, but there, sitting down, was David Beckham in tears, and David Beckham says, "You've got to talk to him, David," because obviously Keegan's saying all this mad shit. Kevin Keegan, as England coach, slightly has the vibe of like, it's like if your parents are like telling you stuff that they shouldn't, like, I'm 2 months behind on the mortgage. You know what I mean? It's like, don't think you should be telling me this shit. My heart's not in it, David. I don't want to do the job anymore.
I was going to say, he's got the vibe of like, you know, when a school teacher opens up too much about their personal life and how it's going off the rails.
And you're like, oh, this is a bit real for me. I don't want that on England duty. Yeah. Well, anyway, but David Davis eventually realises like this scene should not be in front of the children. So he sort of ushers Kevin Keegan into a toilet cubicle where Keegan's crying fully, and Davis tries to persuade him to stay on, but Keegan he won't do it, and he hands in his resignation there infamously
in the loo
in a toilet cubicle. Wow. Yeah. Resigns in the loo in tears, and then goes straight to a Sky Sports interview to tell them. So no, he can't be undone. Yeah, they're really like, mate, just sleep on it. But
I think he was not cut out for the England job.
No,
considering like the amount of scrutiny and pressure that you're under, more than any other job in management, really.
Yeah. Particularly in that era, actually, because it's like peak tabloid.
Yeah, I think he did a good thing getting out for his own sake,
sanity, and the players. Although he's not quite done in management, so he goes to Man City after that, where he does really well, gets them promoted. They qualify for the UEFA Cup. They beat United for the first time in 15 years. So it's 4 pretty good years, although it's probably most famous for him replacing Peter Schmeichel as goalkeeper with another veteran in the sticks, David Seaman, which leads to the Sky Sports headline, Keegan fills Schmeichel's gap with Seaman. Hats off.
They knew what they did there.
I feel like that's great. All they've actually done there is just gone Seaman. That's
also fill Schmeichel's gap.
Yeah,
that's not
exactly. That's not a phrase in football. The only bit of that sentence that's actually innuendo is just using Seaman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He could have gone like Keegan covers Schmeichel with Seaman. That's actually even more rank. But you know what I mean? It's not actually a very good innuendo. It's just like Seaman, haha.
Yeah. Still, when the opportunity arises, you got to take it.
Yeah. What's the young boys one? Because Young
The
Boys,
Young
the
Boys-
Swiss team, they play at the Wankdorf Arena.
What is it?
Oh yeah, it's when it is funny when the Swiss team Young Boys, their stadium was delayed for ages and it was finally built and it's called the Wankdorf Stadium. And I think it was Reuters news agency. The headline is "Young Boys Wankdorf Erection Relief." Yeah, it's good. It's good. Anyway, the City one in the end, he leaves after 4 years, but it's good. And you kind of think, oh, Kevin Keegan's still managing. And then he tells everyone, I'm retired, I'm done with it. Goes very quiet for 3 years. And then suddenly, almost randomly, pops up as Newcastle manager after Mike Ashley takes over, which was, I mean, I think Ashley had just bought the club, and what better way to curry favour with fans than Kevin Keegan? There was a lot of sense among Newcastle fans that the Keegan adventure had been cut short too early. So he brings him in 2008. He's doing okay, but he completely falls out with Ashley. I mean, Ashley's just like not a manager Kevin Keegan should work under. It's a disaster. And I think he only lasts about 9 months or something. His last game is the 3-0 defeat to Arsenal, which is the match where Ashley is spotted necking a pint in the stands.
Famous moment. I think that's him and Kevin Keegan are very different vibes, aren't they? And that was it really for management for him. So in more recent years, he's basically just thrown himself into the after dinner speaking circuit. Hosted the 2021 Meat Industry Awards.
It's a biggie. The meaties.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I don't really picture him as being too good on the gags. Apparently his shtick is more, he has this like PowerPoint presentation comprised of motivational quotes. And if the audience isn't interested, he just walks off stage.
Oh, really? God, that's quite
Apparently so.
sassy. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, bugger this.
Yeah, I mean, he's walked out on bigger things than that, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has got a sort of sassy streak.
Yeah.
What just motivational quotes? Just like what Martin Luther King said, I have a dream.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be a
Dunno.
gags guy. He's probably got some anecdotes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sort of thought he disappeared and gone to Marbella. Like these managers who just burn out a bit early, like Glenn Hoddle,
Yeah.
Terry Venables.
Yeah, he keeps a relatively low profile these days.
How old is he?
74.
Oh, he's 74.
He's 74 now. He's had an amazing career.
Yeah. He's got nothing to
He deserves to
prove, really.
enjoy his retirement, really.
And is he
Respect
just got
it.
to that point with management where he's like, this is just not worth the stress. I
Yeah,
think.
do the odd corporate gig. Probably earns more than he did a year at his peak at Liverpool.
Yeah, it's weird that despite all that glory, you do think of him as like a guy, a slightly unlucky character, slightly tragic figure.
Yeah, it's
weird.
Quite a lemony stick-it.
Yeah,
novel
he's
story.
an unfortunate event.
Series of unfortunate
He does
events.
say the only thing people ever ask me about is like my perm, I would love it, and the song I released. No one ever asked me about my goals.
Yeah,
Don't know why it is that. But yeah, lovable character.
Yeah.
Not a wrong one, I'd say.
definitely not a wrong one. Lovely guy.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one.
Me too.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Si.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kevin. And we would love it if you shared this with all your friends who are Kevin Keegan fans, and maybe chuck us a 5-star review if you enjoyed it. It's
Why
always
not?
appreciated.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.